Hello, Internet. Welcome to Making Money. My name's Eric, and this is your Daily Dollar, our financial series where I give you one financial lesson every day to help you on your financial journey. Today's lesson is something you've heard used over and over again, most likely, in different aspects of life. It's a saying that is honestly just overused at this point, but it is used so much because there is meaning to it. there is a reason why it's been blatantly overused. Today's lesson is that finance is a marathon, not a sprint. So you've probably heard this apply to a lot of things. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Basically anything that you want to be inspiring, that you need to work hard at over a long period of time, is marathon, not a sprint. But why do we use this saying? What does it, what does it mean? Why do so many people harp on this? And why is it used in finance a lot? Saving is a marathon, not a sprint. Personal finance is a marathon, not a sprint. It's core to a lot of these, finance journalists that you see, posts on Forbes, stuff like that. So why not a sprint? So when we're talking about finance, when we're talking about savings, whatever your situation may be, we're talking about basically finding ways to leech from your current income into this new financial journey that you're on, right? And leeching may sound like kind of a negative connotation, but it's what it is. I mean, you're trying to trickle off finances into your savings or trickle off finances into investment accounts, or whatever the situation may be for your retirement or for, if you're saving for a trip, or if you're looking for, advancing your career, whether that be investing in yourself or whatever the situation may be. But that's what you're doing. So you are in a situation that, you have a lot to learn. You need a lot of experience to figure out how to do these things. There's a lot of training that's required. It isn't a situation where you can just get out there and start running. If you've got some knowledge behind you, yeah. If you've got some training in your past already, yeah, you might be able to go out there and start quicker than others. But it's not a situation that you can get out there and be like, bam, I've got the money, thrown it in, done, right? The chances are you're not going to hit the lottery. Chances are you're not going to have a windfall or bet on the right horse, whether that be in actual horse racing or on stocks or whatever the situation may be, that gets you that money right away, that builds up those finances instantaneously, right? If you're looking for something truly sustainable, you're looking to build your finances, and you're looking to do so with a balanced amount of risk, not putting it all on blackjack. We're talking about, a marathon. We're talking about a longer form race, if you want to use that metaphor, which apparently I do because I'm using it today. So it's a series of lessons, a series of exercises to get yourself ready. You're doing this training now. You're trying things. You're seeing what works for you. You're getting all the information that you need to be able to do it, much like you would in preparation for a marathon. When you begin your marathon, it's going to be a lifelong marathon. This is something that you're going to be running, hopefully, for a long period of time. Even after you hit some form of financial success, even after you hit a milestone that you feel, yes, I've succeeded, the plan would be to continue in some aspect, your financial life, whether that be on a beach somewhere where your money does all the work for you and you can sit back and relax. That's great. That's a lot of people's, goal, and that's excellent. There's nothing wrong with that. But your finances are still working for you in the background after that's done. So this really is lifelong. So when we start our marathon, when we start running, after we've gotten our training done, we start with kind of an even pace, right? It's a marathon. You don't want to wear yourself out too quickly. And that's big when it comes to savings, right? Again, I mentioned, leeching off your investments or your income. Let's say trickling off. That sounds better. Leeching off has really a negative connotation. I don't like that I use that, but that's okay. These are unedited, so we're just going to keep going. So you're trickling off your income, right? You're able to save a portion of your income for your financial future, right? Even at the beginning, if that's a small amount, that's fine. Of course, you want to try to save as much as you can feasibly do without, negatively impacting your life. If you're in a rough situation to start with, this can take longer to get going. When you're dealing with, debt, or you're, trying to recover from a negative financial situation to begin with, yeah, the road's going to be, longer. It's going to be steeper at points, especially at the beginning, trying to get your feet underneath you. But it's definitely doable. And if you take those small steps at the beginning and start building things up, it will ramp up for you. I'm going to keep harping on it just because it is one of the foundations of, personal finance. Compound interest is huge. At the beginning, you'll definitely see a situation where, things are, evened out. But over time, you'll see that ramp to a point where it basically gets exponential. And your money works for you, much like we were talking about in our beach example. So at the beginning, it's very steady, a little bit at a time. For me, my financial portfolio, my investing portfolio that I'm attempting to try to get up to $1 million, I'm putting in, a few $100s every paycheck into this account. And my plan is to ramp that up as I'm able to. As we talked in our last video, trying to keep my lifestyle relatively the same as, I make more money. I don't want to get carried away with spending, now that I have more dollars than I did before. I want to spend most of that extra money on finances, on savings. I don't want to, say, okay, I was able to save 20% before, I'll save 20% now. No, if I'm making more money, maybe I can save 25% now. Maybe I can save 30%. So it really is, small steps at the beginning that build up over time. And the reason why this is a lesson today, because it kind of seems very simplistic, after I said it, you're probably going, duh. The reason why we're bringing it up is because it's so core to everything that's going on here. It's something that I definitely wanted to hit in the beginning of this series because, these are the moments when you're really building the reasons why you're doing stuff later on, right? And the marathon, not a sprint, overused saying, should be something that you often think back to. We get into situations where I mentioned before, you may get a bunch of money all at once, or you're in a situation where, you can buy something very fancy or something nice. Stopping and thinking, is this really best for my finances? Is this going to help my marathon? Or is it going to set me back a ton? Because again, it's a slow build at the beginning. You take a big chunk out of that sets you back quite a ways time-wise. Later on in life, you've built up, some income, you've built up some savings, you've built up investments. Being able to spend it is a little easier. Now, this isn't to say that you can't spend on yourself. You should treat yourself. I'm in the mindset that, yes, minimalist living is great. It helps you a ton with this financial journey that you're on, but still rewarding yourself in some degree, maybe that not being such a high financial cost, should still be part of your process. Successes are important. Congratulating yourself is important. We need to stop and smell the roses. We need to stop and realize that we're on the right track. And if we make a huge financial mistake, stop and realize I made a huge financial mistake. So yes, today is very simple, but core to a lot of what we'll be talking about. So please Don't worry about taking it slow right now. You're starting off, you're getting going, that's okay. If you're later in life and you're going through this process, you may need to pick up your feet a little quicker. You may need to save a little bit more, but it's still going to be a marathon. It's nothing that's going to happen overnight. So keep that in mind. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you're enjoying this series, I would love to hear. Please feel free to subscribe as usual. You can hit me up in Twitter if you would like to discuss finances. And as always, I would like to hear where you're starting out in your financial journey. If you're later on in life, if you're right at the beginning, where you're at basically. And feel free to leave that in the comments below and love to discuss. As always, I will see you tomorrow for another lesson. Have a great day, guys. Bye.